Hello all, welcome to AutoBot YouTube channel. Myself Rahul Krishna. Today we are going to learn about UiPath Studio Web. So this will be a series of video. We are going to cover an introduction to Studio Web. We are going to cover some use cases with Studio Web, and we are going to understand in deep like what are the features of Studio Web and why we need Studio Web instead of StudioX and Studio, right? So please do watch this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned for the next videos. So let me give you an introduction to UiPath Studio Web. So as we all know, those who are working with the Studio or those who are working with UiPath, we have Studio is the Studio X is available, Studio Pro is available, right? Then why UiPath has introduced this UiPath Studio Web? So as we all know, like most of the corporate works are now moving to cloud, right? To cloud services, right? So people are working with a different environment, and we don't want to provision any new infra for uh, the automation also. Correct. So if you are going to use a UiPath Studio, means we have to configure the robots. Some infra work is there, and we have to publish the process again to orchestrator, and we have to schedule. So a lot of work is there, right? But if you're going with Studio Web, everything we can do it in a single window, right? We don't need to configure any robot. Everything will be handled by the UiPath itself, right? So here you can see we have Studio X that is mainly dependent for business users. Okay, Studio is that is mainly for RPA developers, and Studio Pro for specialized developers who is vast experience with the RPA development, right? On top of that, we have Studio Web. So all these people can use this Studio Web, and let us understand what is Studio Web. So Studio Web is a browser-based automation development tool for users who wish to start automating process across online application and tools such as G Suite, Office 365, IT infrastructure platform, and more. So Studio Web is a browser-based automation development tool. Okay, it's not a desktop-based; it's a browser-based. So we don't need to make any installation in our desktop, right? So for starting a UI-based automation, what we have to do? We just need to enable the browser extension. Okay, then we can start with the Studio Web automation. And the interface is very easy and capable to understand. So we don't need a proficiency to create a automation in Studio Web. Okay, so this is mainly for all category, like even for business users or RPA developers, for specialized developers can use this platform for build creative automations. Okay, and one important benefit that I understood with Studio Web is it's very easy and handy to integrate with many external applications. So just consider G Suite or Office 365. So whatever automation that is necessary to be handled based on this kind of suits, there are ready-made activities or connectors available which will help to easily connect to those applications and implement our automation solutions, right? So why Studio Web? So no IT dependency, no installation. What does it mean? This is not a desktop-based automation tool, right? This is a browser-based installation automation tool. So we don't need to set up any robots, right? Robots, any configuration is not required. So everything will be taken care by Studio itself. No prior programming language is required. So any layman can easily open the Studio Web and they can start the automation development included in existing developer licenses. So we don't need to purchase any extra license cost for this Studio Web. It is already included with the developer license. Okay. Efficiency, speed, and expanded capability with the serverless robots. So as I mentioned, there is no installation required for the robot and no configuration required. So already serverless robots are available, and it can directly kickstart the automation. So there won't be any delay for starting up the automation, right? So as you all know, like if you're starting an automation in our studio, it need to establish connection between our desktop robot and it need to kickstart the automation. So there will be some delay, right? But if you're going with this serverless robot, it is having high efficiency and speed and expanded capability. Okay, and easily provision, configure, and deploy automation on the cloud. So everything is totally based on cloud. So we don't need to separately develop anything in our desktop. We can directly provision, configure, and deploy it directly to the cloud. Automation responses to cyber-related incidents. So it will be more secure, right? We are not keeping any data within our environment, and everything is in a secure cloud environment. And cross-platform ready. That is one important point that I need to highlight here. What is cross-platform ready? So as this is a browser-based automation platform, we can open this platform from anywhere, right? Maybe with Mac OS or with Linux or with Windows, we can open this browser-based automation studio and we can develop our automation, right? There is no requirement of making a configuration or installation of a studio in a desktop, right? So as we all know, this studio is compatible only with Windows, right? Studio Pro, Studio X is only compatible with Windows and not with any other operating system. So here comes the importance of Studio Web. So those who are using a Mac machine and they wish to develop some automation, they can directly open Studio Web and they can do the development in Studio Web, right? And if they are executing, it is running in a serverless robot, right? So there is no uh, requirement of a configuration mm, in the desktop, right? So it is very handy and it's very reliable. Like we can use it in multiple operating system and we can run it and it will use the serverless robot for the execution. And there are some features which will help us to monitor also how the execution is happening in the serverless robots. Okay, so this is one important benefit of Studio, the cross-platform ready. And easy integration with external source. So just consider if you want to integrate with Jira or Google platform or Microsoft platform or Citrix, whatever it is, we can easily integrate with the external tools using the connectors. Okay, and can combine with Studio and Studio X in development. So it means like we have to develop a cross-platform automation project in our Studio Web, and we can directly push that to our Studio. Okay, or if you are developing a cross-platform project in our Studio X or Studio, we can directly link that with the Studio Web, and we can either use the Studio or Studio Web for the development purpose. Okay, so at a time it will allow only one studio, either Studio Web or Studio for the development. Okay, if you are already open the project in Studio means it will not allow you to make modification in Studio Web. Okay, so it will be locked in one studio. Why it is locked means like just consider I am a developer who is working on a desktop studio and another person is working on Studio Web. Okay, and we are going to work on the same project. If I'm making some changes in my desktop studio and it is directly linked to the Studio Web, means whatever changes I'm making, it will get reflect to the Studio Web also, right? So just consider if two developers are going to work on the same project at the same time, how it can do the version control? It's not possible, right? So that's why at a time we can use only one studio for the development purpose. Okay, and another thing is schedules based on external events. So that is one important thing. So based on the external events that is happening in tools, we can create the schedules. So as we all know, there are multiple triggers. That is time-based triggers are available, or schedules are available, or queue-based, and now we have event-based also. Okay, and share projects with other team members. So just consider there are multiple team members. Here, everything is totally based on cloud, right? So it is very easy to share the projects with the other team members. So that's about a few data about a studio and so Studio Web, and a brief description about Studio Web. So let me show you from where you can get this Studio Web. So those who are having this cloud.uipath account, okay, what you have to do is just log into this cloud.uipath.com. Okay, then at the left hand side, if you check, you will be able to find a button called Studio. Okay, so this is for Studio Web. So just click on it. So if you click on it, it will open up the Studio Web. Okay, so this is Studio Web. Okay, so I opened my desktop studio as well. Okay, so this is community version studio. So here you can see this is a desktop version, right? And I have to configure the robots for making the development and all. But for this web-based studio, there is no requirement of anything like that. I can directly open the studio from this studio cloud and I can create the project. Okay, So there are different features related to this Studio Web. I'm not going to deep dive into all these features. I'll be explaining all these things in the next video. Okay. So meanwhile, I will do one thing. I will try to create a project. Okay. So let me uh, go to project. Okay. I'm going to new project. Okay. So I'm just giving like a first demo web. So Studio Web. Okay, so if you are going to create a new project, it will ask how you want to start the automation. Okay, whether it's a manual trigger or it's event based trigger or time based trigger. Right, so I'm going to choose manual trigger, create. Okay, manual trigger means I have to manually trigger it. Okay, time based means based on the time it will trigger, and event based like based on any event. So it may be a calendar event. Okay, based on that calendar event, it will execute the automation process. Okay, so if I need to add an activity, what I need to do? I need to click on this button, plus button. Okay, or in just considering our studio, how we need to do, we have to create a project, right? Then we have this activity panel, right? From there we have to drag and drop. Here we have this plus button. We can directly click on it. Okay, it will list down what are the activities or what kind of automation you are going to create. Okay, so I'm just going to search for browser. Okay, I'm going to create a browser based automation platform automation, right? So I'm just giving use browser. Okay, so it is initializing, it has to do the installation in the backend, right? So currently there is no extension install. So once you open this use browser itself, it will ask you to install the extension. So this is one configuration that you have to do. So just click on install extension. Okay, just click on add to Chrome. That's it. Okay, add extension. So here you can see UiPath extension for Studio Web. It got added to our Chrome. That's it. Okay, now I can go back. Okay, so the extension is added. It is reloading. Okay, so for UI installation, you have to do this setup. Okay, then you're loading version. In meantime, you can read it. Okay. Now I have to select the scope. What is the application scope? So let me do one thing. Let me open. Okay, let me open RP challenge itself. RP challenge. Okay, so here, okay, I need to select which is a scope. Okay, so here I have RP challenge tab open. So I'm going to select that one. Okay, okay, then it is highlighted that tab. Okay, then here you can see the page of RP challenge, right? And it is asking whether you need a external authentication required. I'm not adding anything here. Okay, and there are a few other options also available. So I'm not deep diving more to here. Okay, so the only purpose is like just to show you how you can create a basic automation using Studio Web. Okay, and just consider I need to type something. Okay, type into RP challenge, indicate a target on screen. Okay, so just consider I'm going to type something in my first name. Okay, I'm selecting this. Okay, just give confirmation. Okay, what's the text? I'm going to give my name. Okay, okay, so here you can see it is opening the RP challenge page and it is entering the data, right, Rahul? Okay, here you can choose the variables. If you have a variable, you can use the variable or you can create a variables also. I just entered my name. This is just a basic demo automation. Okay, I'm just showing you how you can execute this. Okay, then if you want to run it step by step, means you can execute step by step. Then it will go to each activity one by one. Okay, I'm just going to run it. Okay, here you can see how it is executed. Okay, So it is connecting to your live stream. As I mentioned, it is opening in a serverless robot, right? So here you're getting the live stream of the execution. Okay, ask me later. Okay, so here we are getting each step how Web Studio Web has executed this automation project. Okay, so here you can see it has built the project. Agent is initializing, transferring the project to that particular agent. Then project got built and project transferred, and restoring nugget package, and package is restored, and then it started the execution. First demo Web Studio execution started, and it started the audit, like it is opening the browser. Okay, then it has entered the data to the first name, right? I hope you got how easy to develop this automation and how easy to execute it, right? And you are getting a live streaming of the execution as well, right? So this is how you can create an automation in Studio Web. So this is just a basic introduction to give you insight like what is Studio Web and how you can create a very basic automation using UI. Okay, so in the coming videos we are going to explain more about Studio Web and with few use cases. It will be easy for you to understand the importance and the different features of Studio Web, right? So that's it for today. So if you find this video useful, please like the video, please share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. So thanks for watching the video. Bye.